But here's a word here. In Egypt, there were beams on the house on the day of Passover. It all starts with beams. And then ages later comes our salvation on the same day, Passover, Messiah on the cross. And what's there? Beams. In Egypt, they took the blood of the lamb and they marked the beams of their doorpost. When Messiah died on the cross, God took the blood of the lamb and with his blood marked those beams on Passover. And this first part, some of you at Beth Israel might know it, or if you read the book, you know it. But it's going to go into another thing, and that is that when they put the marks of blood on the beams, they did it in three places: to the top, to the side, and to the side. 3 marks of blood. And if you put that together, connect the dots, it becomes a triangle pointing up from man to God. Then, over 1,000 years later, God takes the beams, the wood. On the wood, he takes the blood of the lamb and puts it on the wood, on the beams, again, in how many places? 1, 2, 3. 3 places. Put it together, connect the dots, it becomes a triangle facing down from God to man. Put the 2 triangles, the 2 Passovers together, you get a cosmic Star of David. And so, here's the thing. In Passover, the door is crucial. The doorway is crucial to the whole thing. Passover is about that doorway. It all happens there. What is a door? A door is a place, or doorway is a place where you leave. And it goes with it because the Hebrews are leaving. They're exiting. That's why we call it Exodus. And it all begins at a doorway, an exit. They're leaving Egypt. They're exiting bondage. They're leaving their old life. They're leaving their old identity. But a door is not just for leaving. A door is for entering. If you're leaving something, you're entering another place. And that links up with the meaning of Passover as well. Passover is not just about exiting, it's about entering. Now we have a book of Exodus, but you might say, well, we don't have any book of entering. Yes, we do. It's called the book of Joshua. That's inherent in Passover. Passover is like going through a door. It's leaving one place behind and entering another. So the Hebrews are leaving Egypt. That doorway represents everything. They're leaving Egypt. When they walk out of there, they're leaving Egypt. And they're entering the promised land. It all begins the moment it's that doorway that does everything. They stay in there and then they pass through it. And on that doorway is the blood of the lamb. And even though they won't see the promised land for a long time, the moment they pass through that doorway, there already is the beginning of their new life, new identity, new freedom, new direction, new everything. They're now not just the slaves of Egypt anymore. They're not slaves of Egypt. They are the children, they're the people of God. So Passover is about a doorway. But now, put it together. The beams of the doorway match the beams of the cross. The blood on the doorway matches the blood on the cross. The lamb at the doorway matches the lamb at the cross. So what does it mean? It means the cross is not just a cross. The cross is a doorway. Get it? The cross is a door. It's a Passover doorway. What does that mean? It means the cross is not just something you look at or something you revere or something you sing about. That's all good. The cross is something you go through. You go into it like a portal. The cross is a doorway that gives you the power to leave everything you have to leave. That gives you the power to leave. A doorway, you can leave. Once you have a doorway, you can leave. The cross isn't a regular doorway. It's not a physical doorway like you can see a physical way of leaving. It's spiritual. The doorway, it's greater than that. It gives you the power to leave not just a place, but anything in your life that you have to leave. The old you, the cross gives you the power. The cross is the doorway to get out of the old. So to partake in the Passover lamb, if you're saved, Messiah, means you can't just be sitting there. You have to be going somewhere because it's a doorway. That means you're going, you're moving. You have to take a step. It has to cause you to go because it's a doorway in which you have the power to leave. To leave what? The cross is the doorway by which you can leave Egypt. You can leave the bondage. You can leave any sin you're in. The cross is the doorway to get out of that sin. Cross is the doorway to get out of that habit, to get out of the old life, to get out of your old record, to get out of that old regret and guilt, to get out of the past. The cross makes you free of it. To get out of the old you, the old identity, to get out of there. That's the power. If Messiah is our Passover, he's our doorway. You have the power to leave. But if you have a doorway and you don't go through it, what happens to you? Nothing. If you have a doorway to take you out of bondage, but you don't take it, what happens? You're still in the bondage. If the Israelites didn't go through that doorway, they would still be in Egypt. So you got to move. You got to go through it. You got to take the power of God and go through it. And it's saying you can. Leave the old. You got the power. Leave whatever that thing is. Leave it. You've got the power. What was the first name of this faith, this New Testament, New Covenant faith? It was called what? It was called the way. The derech, the way, because now there was a way. Before there was no way, and now God has made a way. Passover is where there was no way, and God puts a door where there was no way and makes a way where there's no way. So whenever there's something in your life where there's no way, well, there's no hope, there's no way, God says, yes, way. The doorway gives you the way. To be moving, the power to move. And it's not just a doorway to leave something, it's the doorway to enter something. Another, a Passover means there's something new God has for you. God has something. Every time he asks you to leave something, he has something for you to come to. And you can't leave something without entering. You can't leave one place without entering another place. So therefore, and you can't enter that other place without leaving the first. So God is saying here is that you want the new things that God has for you. You have to leave the old things to enter the new. You can't enter the new without leaving the old. God has it. You've got it, and you've got the power. The power is the door. Don't say you can't because you have it. The two are connected. The doorway cannot become an entrance to something new until it becomes an exit to that which is old. You can't enter unless you leave.
To find out how you can receive more of Jonathan's teachings, to receive special free gifts, or get in touch, go to hopeoftheworld.org